Hi, I'm Fran, and I love Star Wars.
Hi, I'm Ryan. I'll miss Force Fridays. Can't wait for Mission Mondays, and I like Star Wars.
I'm Dan, and I despise Star Wars, and this is the Deck the Hallmark podcast.
Deck the Hallmark, it's his podcast.
Brandon and friends host his podcast.
We hope you like this jolly podcast.
Well, we've made it, everybody.
What a journey it's been.
Man.
It only took well over a year to get through 11 movies, but here we are.
64 weeks, and we're here.
I don't actually. Is it really well over a year?
I don't think it's well over a year. I
Not
think
even
it was-
one movie a month, I'll tell you that much.
It's not.
If you break
It's not
it down.
been a whole year. I don't believe.
Yeah, I don't remember when we started. I don't remember when we started. There's no way to look.
There's
either.
no way to tell.
There's no way to tell.
It's gone.
This is what I'll say. I'm very excited about this, but I am even more excited to start Mission Mondays. I think it's going to be really great to journey through the franchise.
Yeah.
That is Mission Impossible. The new movie out today. In the theaters. And we will be obviously getting to that in
8 weeks.
8 weeks.
So good.
8
We're good.
weeks.
We're good at it. Yep. Current.
So you can look forward. That's exactly right.
That might have been the one flaw in that schedule.
Could we have done those and then recorded that one and then done the rest of Force Fridays over the summer? Yeah, but that didn't make sense.
But this is what I'll say. A lot of people have been saying the only way that these episodes with Ryan could be better is if he was in the studio with you. And
I get the feeling.
Thank you to a generous donor, Cletus from Mississippi. He
Shout out.
has sent us money
Stereotyping the heck out of Mississippi. Oh my God.
His name is his name.
I didn't name him.
Yeah.
I'm not stereotyping Jack. I didn't name him.
No, you're not stereotyping Jack. You're stereotyping Cletus.
That's exactly
That's
right.
right.
His name's Cletus.
Cletus.
And I said, do you want me to call you anything else? And he said, don't you dare.
Cletus
So you can take that up with him. Cletus sent us money to be used only to fly Ryan down every week.
Every
for
week.
Mission Mondays, which is very
Possibly
exciting.
with the same clothing that I had on
Ooh.
certain weeks. Yeah.
It's a weird little addendum for Cletus.
So do you want to go ahead and that was he said I'll do it on one condition.
Yeah.
If he does it
Rye
in
Guy
threes.
has limited outfits.
He does it in threes. That's the thing. Do you have anything you want to say to Cletus?
I mean, I really
Ryan,
appreciate
it's Cletus. Ryan, it's
Oh.
Cletus. Hey, Ryan, it's good to see you. How you
Would you
doing out
mind-
there, Cletus?
I'm great. Would you mind if I call you Cleats, or is it
No,
only
we don't do
Cletus?
that. That's shoes.
Yeah.
Cleats and shoes.
I
I'm
tried to
Cleet-
tell
I'm
Cletus.
Cletus.
I tried to tell him. I tried to tell him
Cletus.
that you don't want your name changed.
Cleats is shoes.
Yeah, I
Cletus.
tried to-
Cletus, born and raised in Mississippi.
Born and raised, Jackson, Mississippi. Shout it on out.
Do you ever think you'll leave or
Oh,
no?
I'm born here and I'll die here. You take it right out of my cold, dead hands.
Big Tom Cruise guy?
Huge cruiser.
Yeah,
Huge
can I
cruiser.
ask really
Cruiser.
quick?
Now,
He's a
I will
big
say
cruiser.
this. I'll say
Cletus,
this.
I
Right
didn't- Go ahead, sorry,
Now,
go ahead.
first of all, don't call me Cleats again, or there's going to be a problem. But second of all,
I
you
apologize
need to
for
know
that
this
one.
right up front. Now, I said I'd fly you down here, but I'm sick of all the shirts. You know, you don't have to.
Right.
You have to flaunt all these shirts. You got shirts and jerseys for days, and it's like,
Sure.
why do I need to wear so many different articles of clothing when it's just a day? It's
Right.
just the sun.
But it's
the
one.
sun-
But
the
it's one
sun-
day a week.
The
one
sun,
day
the
a week.
sun comes up again tomorrow, Rye Guy. I don't
Right.
know what you. It's pretty simple. You just put a shirt on. You don't have to keep doing this thing where you
Where I
just
change my shirt.
Where you
Yeah.
just use all these bright colors and it's like, yeah, the
I mean,
goofy
he's wearing
movie
a
made a
black
basketball
shirt.
jersey.
He's wearing
I
a
get it.
black
this
shirt
is
today. He's
great.
wearing a black shirt today.
Yeah, you look great today. You look great today. It just
Thank you.
doesn't
Can I
make
ask you
You
this
look
really
great
quick,
today as
Cletus?
well.
a dadgum bit of sense.
Does he have to wear the same shirt for all 8 movies?
I'm just saying, use some discernment is all I'm saying. I mean, like, search the Holy Spirit, pray a little bit, and go, do I need a different color? Am I a 12-year-old or am I a grown-up? Can I just...
no testimony. I got
Yeah,
it.
yeah. And in the spirit of the resurrection, like, just, you don't have to change a shirt every time we turn around. Like, we get it. You like things from old ages.
So maybe like 3 movies at a time, same shirt.
I would grant you that. You could do one for 3. I would do
thanks,
a one for
Cletus.
3.
Really kind of you.
I'll do one
Yeah.
for 3. That's right.
Okay.
It's Cletus.
Double or nothing or no?
1 for 3. All right, and you got the gift card. It was a Discover gift card.
We got the Discover gift card, and
Great.
we've already
That's
booked the
right.
first flight, and it's good to go.
Great.
So
Thanks,
That's good.
Cletus.
Yep.
Cletus. Thanks, Cletus.
Yeah, Cletus, that's what you've done. That's 2 strikes now. You know what happens on 3 strikes.
Really
You're
quick-
out of the ball game. That's what happens.
what happens if he's out of the ball game?
Well, I don't want to get into it.
Okay.
It's a non-refundable ticket, Cletus. So I mean,
This is prepaid Discover.
Cletus, really quickly, and then we'll dive into Star Wars. You do have to at least acknowledge it is weird for you to do this all on the agreement about the shirt.
When I pay for somebody to fly in an airplane, which is something that I've never had the experience to do, but I imagine they're throwing peanuts at you left and right.
You've never been on a plane?
No. Are the peanuts good?
Yeah.
Are they
right.
good?
They're fine.
They're good because
If you
I
like
want
peanuts.
Like I feel like that would be the draw for me is the peanuts.
get a Coca-Cola if you're lucky.
But
Oh, yeah,
what's
in a
stopping
glass
you
bottle.
from flying? You just sent us a bunch of money through a
I don't
Discover
need to
card.
go nowhere. I'll born and die in Jackson, Mississippi. I told you that already. You
Cletus,
introduced
how
me.
many shirts do you own? Sorry to
That's
interrupt.
a good question.
6 shirts, including my Sunday blues.
So
Okay.
that's 5 for Monday through Saturday.
5 for Monday to Friday, and I'll repeat on Saturday however I choose.
Okay, whoa. First of all,
Sometimes I
Whoa,
sometimes
whoa.
I shirtless Saturdays. You got a problem?
Can I
If
ask
you
you-
ain't never lived a shirtless Saturday with a case of Natty Lights, who you think you are? You just stick to your peanuts on the plane there, big guy.
so
you
your
leave the doing to me.
so your Sunday blues are blue?
Oh, yeah.
Would you
dumb.
not consider that a bright color?
No, it's like it's like a denim.
Okay.
It's a denim. It's a
Canadian
man's
tuxedo?
blue. It's a Wrangler Sunday blues.
All right.
That's what it is. It's my weekend shirt.
All right.
You got a problem?
Thanks, Cletus.
So I ain't never been on an airplane,
Cletus,
but I feel
genuinely,
like
thank you.
feel
Thank
like the
you.
young man should get some peanuts and get on a plane once a week to come down and join you. That's all.
Thank you, Cletus.
Read the synopsis.
Love you, buddy.
It's going to be a light pack, so I do appreciate it, Cletus.
Yeah.
So thank you. Yeah.
God bless.
And we're going to be talking, he's flying him down every week.
Flying them down every week.
What a
Right,
guy.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which
Why?
is why the shirt aspect becomes a little
It's
confusing,
a little
but who
weird
am I to tell
that
Cletus how to live?
he would be that held up on shirts
I don't know what his
when
deal
it's a
is.
different,
I don't know why he's in
Yeah.
a mood like that. That's
And
weird.
who knows what I'm
Yeah.
supposed to do on the ride back every week? Like, you know,
I don't know. Not my problem. Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. It originally premiered on December 16th, 2019 at the Dolby Theater.
Dolby.
oh wow.
Good
and
stuff.
then for the rest
That
of
wasn't
us,
Ryan. We actually have a sound clip of Ryan
Yeah?
saying, "Oh wow," and we just play it.
We just play it randomly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a fun
We're
thing
gonna
we
do
have.
some new ones when I'm there for the next 8 weeks.
Yeah. And then everyone else on December 20th, 2019. It went a little something like this. The dead speak! The opening crawl reveals a mysterious broadcast has been heard across the galaxy. Apparently, Palpatine is doing a morning show.
Welcome.
The question is how?
My
But
first guest, AT&T customer service.
But how is the question? Leia dispatches agents across the galaxy to gather information on this, while Kylo Ren, now Supreme Leader of the First Order, searches for Palpatine in an effort to eliminate all potential threats to his power. He wants to get rid of Palpatine. Kylo Ren finds this triangle thing, Illuminati style, which leads him to Hidden Planet, where he finds Palpatine. Still kicking, energized by the joy, the thrill that is live morning radio. Palpatine unveils a fleet of Star Destroyers and offers it to Kylo if he finds and kills Rey. You gotta find her. Who is continuing her Jedi training under Leia. During Rey's training, she has a brief chat with Kylo Ren through the Force. That's a thing that they like to do with each other. Brief flashes of her past, and accidentally crushes BB-8 during training. And I gotta tell you, real mad at you. Don't you hurt sweet little baby BB-8. You don't hurt BB-8. Poe announces to the Resistance that Palpatine is alive and plans to unleash his fleet. To stop him, they need the Sith Finder, which Rey believes to be on a planet called Pazana. I don't know. It's just that's what Google said. The crew lands during a sick dance party. Lando.
Yup, nub.
Yes. Oh, sorry.
Yup, nub.
Yes,
Oh,
that's
that
what they were
remix
saying.
is gonna be sick.
Yup, nub. Yup, nub.
Palpatine.
Rey meets a local who gives her a necklace.
Palpatine got the Ewok jam band
Yes.
for his in
Yeah.
the band in the studio
Yes.
with him, which is crazy.
It seems like a budget nightmare.
It's a
but-
better movie.
Rey meets a local who gives her a necklace, but through the Force bond that she has with Kylo can take that from her, and that he is able to use that to determine her location. Rey is soon approached by a contact of Leia's. It's Lando. He's back, baby, and he's old now. He explains that he and Luke once searched for the Sith hunter named Ochi. And they might be able to help you find the Wayfinder. And they find the ship. No trace of Ochi. That's tough. Stormtroopers arrive, and the heroes flee into the desert. And they're falling into some quicksand. It's a whole thing. It brings them to an underground cave. There, they find a Sith dagger, and it has some words inscribed into it. C-3PO can read it, but can't speak it. That's his programming. Can't speak it. So that's unfortunate. Rey senses that Kylo is approaching and confronts him while the others prepare to take off in their ship. She brings down Kylo's ship, but is shocked to see that Chewie has been captured. As she and Kylo both use the Force to stop the ship that's carrying Chewbacca, Rey loses control and has Force lightning coming out of her fingertips, like Palpatine. Which destroys the ship and kills Chewie. This just in. Chewie's fine. He was on a different ship altogether. I know that was a tough few seconds for you guys.
He was
at
on
home.
another transport.
He was on another transport. And so that's good for us, but bad for him because now he's going to be held captive. I mean, I guess it's better than death. Poe.
Who's to say?
Poe takes the gang to see an old friend, Zori. She takes them to a tiny little fella who can bypass C-3PO's programming so that 3PO will finally be able to translate that Sith text. But it's also going to erase his memory, which is such a bummer for all of us. Suddenly, the First Order arrives, having tracked the group. Rey senses that Chewie is alive on the Star Destroyer, so that's good. They realize that he must have been on a different transport. The crew sneaks onto the ship, and while Finn and Poe, they're captured, Rey goes to retrieve the dagger and has a Force battle with Kylo and has a vision of the Emperor killing her parents who are hiding her to protect her. Kylo tells her it is because she is a Palpatine. What? The captives are about to be killed, but Hux intervenes, revealing that he is a spy. He helps him escape, explaining that he doesn't care who wins as long as Kylo loses. He then quickly is killed. Rey refuses to join Kylo Ren in destroying Palpatine, and the crew escapes with Chewie and the Falcon. The team heads to where the Death Star wreckage lies, and they meet Jannah, who is a former stormtrooper.
Jannah?
I don't know. Jannah, J-A-N-N-A-H. Jannah?
Yana, maybe? Jana?
I'll go with Yana. That sounds-
Janny? Did Janny get involved?
It's Janny. Shout out Janny. They meet Janny, who is a former stormtrooper just like Finn,
Stormtrooper.
who escaped the First Order.
former stormtrooper.
Ray finds the way. Ray finds the. Dan, I can't. I'm trying to get through this. You want to read it?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Ray finds.
Skywalker's write this?
Ray-
Skywalker. I'm Luke Skywalker. I'm your fritter.
I hate this so much. I hate it so much. I just want to get through this. Rey finds the Wayfinder, but experiences a dark vision of herself as a Sith vampire combo package. Kylo shows up and they begin to fight. Suddenly, Kylo gets a vision of his mom, Leia, taking her last breath. He drops his lightsaber in shock, which Rey catches and uses to stab him. But then, when she feels that Leia is dead, she heals Kylo so that he can mourn without pain. I don't know, man. Kylo has a vision of his father who encourages her to fight, encourages him to return to the light. Kylo throws his lightsaber into the water, Luke Skywalker style. Poe is named General and doubts his ability to lead. Lando comes out of nowhere and gives him a pep talk because it's Lando. Intending to exile herself like Luke Skywalker because she's so disappointed in herself, Rey tries to destroy her lightsaber, but Luke's Force ghost hand appears through the flames. He tells her that Leia knew all along who she was and still believed in her. He gives her Leia's saber and helps her retrieve the Wayfinder from Kylo's ship. Rey pilots Luke's old ship to go and save the day. With a signal from Luke's ship coming through, the Resistance prepares for battle. Poe and Finn lead the attack on horseback, cause duh. Rey shows up to confront Palpatine. Dude is pumped to see his granddaughter. Who wouldn't be? We love it when our grandkids come by. He says that he doesn't want to kill her. Rather, he wants her to kill him so that his spirit will enter her and they can lead together, basically. Kylo shows up and they fight together, sharing Leia's saber through the Force. Palpatine enjoys the show and then uses his lightning fingers on both of them, which is just draining their power. It's tough out there. The Resistance attacks Palpatine's fleet, but they're outmatched. Just as the hope is fading, Lando arrives with a massive fleet from across the galaxy, and once again, none of them hit each other coming out of hyperspeed. As Rey lies on the ground, she hears the voices of past Jedis encouraging her to get up. She confronts Palpatine again, and deflects his lightning with both Luke and Leia's sabers. As he declares, "I am the Sith," Rey responds, "And I am all of the Jedi," and destroys him. She's on the verge of death herself from the blast, but Kylo climbs out of a pit and just revives her with his own life force, I guess. They kiss big ones. Is it this movie?
Yeah.
Is this a Hallmark movie? They kiss big ones. Then he dies. Womp womp. The Resistance destroys the Sith fleet, and the heroes reunite to celebrate the win. And the movie ends with Rey and BB-8 taking the Falcon to Tatooine. She buries the Skywalker lightsabers there, and now she has her own. It's yellow. So that's fun for her. And when a local asks who she is, she says, "Rey." Follow-up question for you. Rey who? And she ponders the answer to this question. And then she says, "I am Rey Skywalker," as the ghost of Luke and Leia smile at her, and she watches the twin suns. And that, my friends, was
Star Wars
The Rise
Episode
of
9,
Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll break this movie down here on Deck the Hallmark.
Deck the Hallmark.
So does Cletus never wear a shirt on Saturday?
I don't think he has planned to wear a shirt on Saturday. I think if he has to,
Is Saturday when he does his laundry, you think?
I don't know.
I was curious about the laundry myself.
I'm
I wish we could
sure
ask.
that Cletus has never seen
Well,
a
he has-
washing machine in his life.
So you don't think he ever washes?
I think his clothes get washed. I don't know by whom, but I think his clothes
it
get
rains.
washed. Yeah. and
Well,
if
he
he's
has
got
6 shirts, counting his Sunday blues.
his Sunday blues. Yeah.
So really 5 shirts. 'cause
Yeah,
the
5
Sunday
from
Blues was
Monday
the
to
denim
Friday.
number.
That's right. Yeah.
And then Saturdays.
It's shirtless Saturday.
Shirtless Saturdays. So it's
Shirtless
laundry
Saturdays,
day.
That's
we
right.
call it. Yeah.
Let's talk the final
Cincinnati's.
Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker. Let's start with the hot takes where we share exactly how we felt about this movie. We do not hold back, and I'll start with you. Right, guy.
Palpatine was dead to begin with. There is no doubt whatever about that. Like, this movie is unimaginably bad.
Yes. Yeah.
Like,
thank you. Good God.
Now, I
thought I was going to have to get real angry with you. I'm so glad that you started
Well,
like this.
quick history lesson. Much like Bran, I saw this in theaters, and since at the time I would still call myself a casual Star Wars fan, but I guess I'm elevated now after this experience of watching all these films for the last 8 years with you two. But at the time, I would see a Star Wars movie as long as. And granted, there's a caveat here. As long as it wasn't god-awful, I'd be like, that was fun, and then never think about it ever again.
Yeah.
Well, I must have just been in a really good mood that day, because this movie is terrible. I did not love Last Jedi as much as you two, but I will say, the Last Jedi erasure
Oh, my
that
God.
this movie does
I
is
can't even.
in-
Oh.
this movie has nothing to do with the movies that came before it, but especially The Last Jedi. The Palpatine stuff, there's no way to make heads or tails of it. Like, if they had been building it up from Force Awakens on, all right, we can talk. We can come to the bargaining table on whether or not this would have been, good, or maybe had the chance to be good. But it's so out of nowhere, so it's such an impossible uphill climb. Like, from the first words of the opening scroll, you're just totally out of sorts. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. And then, listen, this is nobody's fault. And I think I was really generous when I saw it in theaters in 2019. By the way, just how insane, like, this is neither here nor there, but Avengers Endgame comes out, 7-8 months before this? And, this...
That's how you
Star
end.
Wars is the most popular thing of all time. And just to contrast that in that specific year, the actual most popular movie of all time comes out, and then this comes out, and it's this bad. It's really insane. I don't even necessarily know what the point there is. It's just really bad. But the Leia stuff is nobody's fault, man. What a tragedy.
Yeah.
But I didn't realize how bad it's and again, I don't have a better solution, right?
Nope.
I don't know what they could have done other than because it's mostly actually footage of Carrie Fisher as opposed to a lot of CG. They took outtakes and whatnot from Last Jedi. They tried to piece it together, and good on them, but it just really is jarring, really anytime she's in a scene. We get 2 visits from the great beyond in a 10-minute span. It's what you read about this film is that, the people who like it say, well, the Star Wars nerds will be really happy, a return to form. I don't know how that's possible. No. Maybe it is, but I feel like the Star Wars nerds hate this movie as much as the other 2 from this trilogy. There's really no redeeming qualities, and the biggest tragedy is that here I've been for weeks saying, let's get Poe, Finn, and Rey together on adventures. Yeah. We finally do that, and it sucks.
How's the casino looking now?
The only positive thing is Babu Frick. Everything else is brutal. Bran, I'll kick it to you.
We love the Frick. We love that little guy.
This movie's bad.
I also remember seeing it, and my big takeaway was, I didn't think they were gonna kiss. I didn't think they were.
That was the part that bothered Brand.
Yeah, I didn't see it. I didn't know that was on the table. Had I known it was on the table, I could have prepared my heart. I didn't know it was on the table. I didn't know I was supposed to be shipping Rey and Kylo Ren, but apparently we were. I think the problem for me, and why Palpatine doesn't bother me, is I just assume that everything is explained in Clone Wars, like Darth Maul being alive. I'm like, well, I'm sure Clone Wars had something to say with it. And so I don't know. I saw him and I was like, well, there he is again. So that's nice. But this movie is a bit of a mess. It is the worst of the 3. And that's unfortunate. And it's just a bit confusing because things that we were taught, things that we have been taught even last week in last week's movie. I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago, with the way that things and with the Force and whatnot, the way it works. I did feel like we had a pretty good handle on rules. And now I don't know if we have a good handle on rules.
We don't.
And so, it's a bit of a mess. I still enjoy it. I still like it, but I can acknowledge that it is a bit of a mess. Dano?
I'll just say this. Given the scope, the budget, and all involved, this is one of the worst films ever made. Period. Literally full stop. It is giving second Matrix sequel. That's what we're dealing with here. This movie would have been better as a musical.
That would have been sick.
I can't quite describe to you, this movie is Disney groveling for people to enjoy Star Wars that watched them in the 70s and 80s. It is, and they're doing it wrong. So, like, to Ryan's point, I don't think that Star Wars, like, nerds or Star Wars fans who are in between the ages of 48 and 60, I don't think that those fans loved Rise of Skywalker. But that's what Disney wants. They are like, what do you want? We'll give you anything you want. We don't care. You want Rey to be a Palpatine, a Skywalker? Great. Both of them. Let's do it. Like, we don't care. Like, we'll bring them all back. Billy D. Williams is 106 years old. Get him in here. Get him in here. Listen, we haven't forgotten about you. You have more money than teenagers, and we need your money. And that's what this is. J.J. Abrams says very little about this movie, but one thing he says, like quoted in, is it doesn't all work. The guy that directed the movie said that. And forget the fact that this movie takes all of the punch of what I loved. If you remember 2 weeks ago, where I went above and beyond with my hot take of Last Jedi, even to an emotional level that the movie did not deserve. In the last movie, they're like, Kylo, take off the dumb helmet. You don't need it to breathe. You don't need it to do anything. It's stupid. And in this movie, they're like, make a cooler helmet. I'm serious. That's what happens. In the last movie, it's like, hey, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be a Jedi. Anybody can do it. The Force responds to people, not bloodlines. And in this movie, it's like, no. Only certain bloodlines can be Jedi. This movie out MacGuffins the room. There's MacGuffins to find MacGuffins. The movie is nonsensical. And yes, Ryan is right. To lose viewers in the first 2 words of the opening scroll is impressive. It's an impressive thing for it to say the dead speaks, and for everybody to know, because they saw the poster with Palpatine in the background, to go, they're bringing this guy back again? They don't have one single solitary new idea? And then it's like, let's parade Harrison Ford back out there who's dead. Let's parade Mark Hamill back out there who's dead. This is Disney going, hey, JJ, we tried something new and it hurt our pocketbooks just a little bit. Please just make it right. It doesn't have to make sense. We'll pay you a bunch of money and you go and just put Skywalker and Palpatine and Death Star into a blender and then let ChatGPT just throw up everywhere. And then we'll make these actors who've become their own characters just do that instead. Rose is a cameo. The woman, they set up an Asian American woman to be a somewhat lead in a Star Wars movie, and she in this movie gets as much time as Mary from Lord of the Rings. That's what happens in this movie. It is an assault to the senses. It is an affront to storytelling, and it's one of the worst movies ever made. It's not the worst of the 3. It's the worst of the 11. And I got to be honest, it's not particularly close. Attack of the Clones is real bad for long stretches, but it has a distinct narrative that makes sense from beginning to end. And it has a couple of show-stopping scenes that give you the vibes of a Star Wars movie. This contains none of that. It is metal crashing on metal until your ears bleed. It's a terrible movie. It's unbelievable how bad this movie is. One of the worst I've ever seen.
I do want to just shout out Yaz on Letterboxd, who left this review. My playlist by Ben Solo. 1, I Want to Hold Your Hand by the Beatles.
Yeah, of course.
2, Hold My Hand, Michael Jackson. 3, Holding Hands, The Magic Lantern. 4,
the Hootie.
One Hand Holding, The Maccabees. And then it does end with Hold My Hand by Hootie and the
Yeah, of
Blowfish.
course.
A lot of holding hands. A lot of
holding hands.
Now we know it had nothing to do really with the Force. He just wanted to hold her hand.
He loved to hold her
He
hand.
just had a crush on her.
Just make the first move, Kylo. God.
Let's get to all the feels. We're talking about what in this movie gave us those sweet, sweet feels. Ryan?
Can't wait for Dan. I
have one. I have a legitimate one.
Oh, okay. Well, see, I don't. I'm bummed out for John Boyega feels, is my feel. I mean,
that's a good one.
Poor Finn, man. Like, this guy is wielding lightsabers in Force Awakens, which we all thought was a little ridiculous, but they had clear plans for him. And then I'm not going to try to change history. I didn't love the casino stuff, but again, a clear plan. This dude is in the majority of this film. He even gets a hero moment at the end, but he is so lost in this movie. Like it's just through no fault of his own. Like he's just going through the motions, and because I feel like the script is giving him nothing to do. And then, man, he doesn't end up with Rose. He doesn't end up with Rey. He doesn't end up with Poe. Like there was nothing to him in this film. And again, he was taking the fight to Kylo Ren just a couple weeks ago. There's a lot of like really head scratching moments in this, but listen, Dan, to your point, I can understand, I'm not agreeing with it, but I can understand why they're trying to scale back Rose or whoever, because they're trying to, course correct, or what they felt like they had to course correct to make certain people happy. But like, this is one of your principal characters.
That's right.
And you give him nothing to do other than like what felt like, we got to give him a moment in the last 5 minutes of this film. Like, it's like, so really, really head scratchingly bizarre, Brad.
If you go look up the first trailer for The Force Awakens, the first image you see is John Boyega. He pops up in the desert. That's the first image. And you know what? A lot of people on the interwebs got mad. They got mad about that. You can take that for whatever you want to take it for. They got mad at how heavily John Boyega was featured in the trailer and then in Star Wars. And to watch Disney kowtow to that is heartbreaking. Like, it just put it on the list of reasons I'm cool not going to Disney World. Like, just put it on there. Like, it's crazy to me what they did to this guy. It's unbelievable. You're 100% right. That was a good one, right?
I wrote down water back there. Pretty cool. In relation to when they're having that battle, and then she ends up stabbing him and then healing him real quick. There's water back there, and the water looks real cool. Dan?
Imagine a world where in the first movie, they find Luke. Luke trains Rey. And then instead of whatever we get at the end of Force Awakens, we do get Kylo and Rey and that fight on the boat. Mm-hmm. I think that's pretty awesome. I think that fight on the boat is weird because of the character motivations at that time. Yeah. It doesn't make a ton of sense. But the fight choreography itself.
And the water back there.
And the water back there and all around him it's really well staged. And in any other movie, that's kind of a big highlight. In this movie, I don't know why they're doing it. They both want to kill Palpatine. They just are not in the same boat on how or why, but they both do want to kill Palpatine. They don't want to kill each other.
Yeah.
In fact, Rey, he can't kill her according to Palpatine. And then she just wants to kill Palpatine and save him. There's no reason for them to be fighting like that. None. But the fight is cool. And if that would have happened in Force Awakens, bring it. That's what I got.
Let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll get to the Wait What and the Force for Fridays here on
Take the Hallmark.
Hi, everybody. Welcome back. We're talking Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker.
The Rise of Skywalker.
Let's get to the Wait What. That's where we talk about what in this movie made us go Wait What. I'll start with you, Rye Guy.
Yeah, early in the movie, our heroes are at Burning Man, and
Coachella.
Yeah, and like they do this a few times, but this one I thought was particularly egregious. Dan, to bounce off what you were saying, like by the end of this movie, I won't, because I'm never gonna watch this film again, but like I was at well beyond my limit of watching Kylo and Rey talk to each other from two separate parts of town.
Oh my god!
Like with no coherent narrative. But at Burning Man, Kylo like grabs her necklace.
That's right.
And like, and I would like to know how.
Yes. We all want to know. I know that's a big one for Bran.
Yeah, like. At least there's other times when they do it and they're like kind of in proximity of one another. But like, she's in Mississippi with Cletus and he's in London with the cast of The Parent Trap. And like, it doesn't make any sense to me how that happened. Like, so, the biggest one for me, this was one of the few things I remembered about this film. Sorry, I'm getting worked up. Why did they bring in Carrie Russell to be the chick with the helmet, with the woman with the helmet on? Like, they could have been. She's got the helmet on for 99% of the film. It could have been anyone. It could have been Trace. Like, why? What?
Could have been Trace.
Well, I actually, first of all, you look real good.
And you're
This shirt, you like it, Trace?
And you're gonna be in town.
Yeah, I'll be once a week for about 8 straight weeks.
Yeah. But he can't wear
Yeah.
different shirts every time, Trace. That's the whole
well,
thing.
we'll see about that, big guy.
All right.
I did audition for this movie. I auditioned for it. I actually auditioned for the character of the Frickster, as I like
Do
to
you
call
think?
Frick.
Oh, you didn't audition for
Oh,
Kerry
wow.
Russell's?
No, I didn't.
Because I was going to say, do you think it was nepotism because J.J. Abrams has a long-standing relationship with Kerry Russell, Felicity, what have you? You don't think that had anything to do with why you didn't get the part? So you're at a different part.
No, she earned it fairs and squares.
Fairs and squares.
Yeah.
Got
Both
it.
fairs and squares.
What do
yeah.
we have? I'm getting word from producer Aaron that we do have your audition tape.
For
it
the
just says
Frickster.
Trace as the Frickster.
Yeah.
And we have 2 different. So there's one, I believe there's some notes. We have a second one. Is that correct, Trace?
Yes, we have that second one.
All right, go ahead.
I
Roll
know
that
we
clip.
roll that?
Roll that clip. All right, action.
Well, what we're gonna do is we're gonna reprogram him. He will remember you, but maybe it'll be better. Hey,
All right, cut. If we could cut right there,
What's
Trace.
up, JJ?
This is
How you doing, Boo Thang?
doing all right, Trace.
Yeah?
I've never met you.
Hey, Boo Thang.
Do you? If you could not, that would be fantastic. We're not doing a musical here.
You're not.
No.
It could be better as a musical, this film, but we're not doing
Do you
one.
wanna? Do you want to give us one that's maybe different?
I only worked on. Okay, I'll try.
All right. Let's do one more. Trace is the Frickster. Here we go. Action.
Here we are. We're gonna reprogram. I can only sing it, JJ. I prepared it one way.
All right, Trace, do you know why hearing that back from 10 years ago, do you think maybe you can understand why you didn't book it?
Oh no, I see it. They made a mistake. They goofed.
I don't think that's what happened.
That's
The
clear.
film would have been better with Trace. in
That's
my
what
opinion.
I mean, it couldn't have
saying.
been worse. I think that's fair. I think that's fair.
Trace would have wound up with more screen time
Yeah.
than John Boyega. Yeah.
That's true.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Blame me.
Yeah.
All right, you got anything else, right?
I got a couple more. Thanks, Trace. Can't wait to see
God
you
bless.
8th time. Yeah. They have 3PO. This was a big line in the trailer. They have 3PO, you know, he's about to lose his memory for about 8 minutes. And they have him say, I just want to take one last look at my friends. Except none of the original principal characters
them.
are there.
None of them.
He spent like 10 minutes with Poe.
No.
And then last one, you know, the Kerry Russell piece of it was the biggest for me, but this is right up there. Rey stabs Kylo and then closes the wound, which leads me to ask, if these 2 Jedis can just heal everybody, what are we even fighting for?
Why are we fighting?
Are the stakes quite low at that point? If it's like nobody can die, and so great film, really
Great
enjoyed
film.
it. Yep.
Yeah. So, first of all, at one point she does use her lightsaber as a flashlight, which just seems unsafe. You know,
It's a weird move.
it doesn't seem safe to me
Yeah.
to be going like this out. You don't know what's going to
You
happen.
don't know.
I try really hard, and maybe to a fault, some might say, to give things and decisions the benefit of the doubt, because maybe I don't understand
Unless
it
it's
all.
food you don't want to try.
That's right. So when, you know, the necklace thing happens and I'm like,
At Burning Man.
well, that doesn't seem to make a ton of sense because of, you know, what happened.
When Luke in Last Jedi shows up at the red planet,
Yeah.
he can't touch anything.
right.
Right.
He can't change any physical object.
Right. And so I was confused. I was like, maybe I don't fully understand. But then there are full battle scenes with lightsabers that happen through the Force. And we've seen it where, and the last one where he goes zoom and he goes sliding through
Right
and
through. He's a
it goes
ghost.
right through because
Yeah.
he's using the Force. And so I don't know if there's like if you know that somebody is communicating with you through the Force, then you can kind of make the necessary adjustments to how you're going to swing that thing or whatever it is.
Swing that thing.
I'm trying
You're doing the best you can
to
here.
make sense of the changes that we've seen. And the only thing that I have is if you know that they're not really there, then you can change. You can watch back the tape. You can make the changes you need to for Game 7. And you can go out there and you can win the series.
Bran trying to give answers to his White Ones is what he's doing here.
I'm trying. Someone has to.
At one point, she just puts a lightsaber behind her back, and then he has it behind his back.
It.
Which is just magic. It's not even like the Force. That's just a magic trick.
And I just maybe I don't know it. I don't know everything clearly, so I don't know. So like, let's talk Palpatine really quick. Palpatine is still alive.
Papa
he
Palpatine
is rocking that sweet, sweet morning show. Traffic with Palpatine. It crushes. And he is attached to this thing that I think is keeping him alive. I'm not sure, but it kind of like is like gliding him along.
It's like the thing that Doc Ock is hooked up to.
It kind of is. And like, I don't know, did he like have that made before he died for like just in case?
Was there a point where they were building it for him, and until they had it built, they were weakened at Bernie's seeing
I don't know.
Emperor Palpatine. They had his hands up and they were doing a bad.
That's the thing. Like, did they make that before he died or after? And if it's after, like, who gave that order?
He's the emperor.
Well, he's out of commish, right?
Right.
And so like, who was like, hey, we've been tinkering around a little bit. So it makes me think that he had this set up
from when Darth Vader chucked him down the chute.
For just in case. Just in case something happens and I die, then I'll Doc Ock it.
It does seem to be rogue, though, because the first 2 words of the scroll are the dead speak, and then it goes on to say, like, Kylo and everybody at the Republic or whatever.
Surprised.
They're like, who's this doing this nonsense? We got to go check that out, right? Like,
but then we find out there's an arena full of folks cheering him on.
That's right.
Thunder. And so I don't know. I was very confused as to how and why behind.
It's almost like they just brought Palpatine back in 3 paragraphs at the beginning of the movie without a lot of thought as to how it would all work.
Can you imagine getting notes from Disney going, just fix it. Whatever you got to do, just fix it. The Last Jedi, whatever, it doesn't matter. Act like it doesn't exist. And they sit down in a meeting and somebody has to be the first one to go, what if we brought Palpatine?
I think I like to think.
No, but Dan, it's worse. It's worse because the second thought is then, what if we bring Palpatine back through text?
Yeah,
The movie would work better if 15 minutes in, there's a big reveal and we get some quick exposition as to how Palpatine is alive.
That's right.
They just tell us he's alive.
Yeah, he just is.
It's really terrible.
I have to imagine that they were in the writer's room and they couldn't even verbalize it. So they wrote it on a sticky note and just slid it over just as Palpatine.
They're just like weeks and they've got nothing.
We
just
got
a bunch of
nothing.
blanks. And then somebody busts through the door and they just on a marker board just writes the dead speaks exclamation point. And everyone's like, oh, that's good, Daryl.
Good.
First couple words right there.
That's it.
Good.
Yeah.
And then my last one is imagine being such a bad kisser that you kill someone. Like the psychological damage that does to you, knowing that you kiss someone and they die. That that's gonna live with you for a long time. You're never gonna. That's a lot of therapy to go through that. Like I want to be.
She reverse Sleeping Beauty'd him.
She reverse Sleeping Beauty'd him, and I think through a lot of therapy you can work through that and potentially be in a loving relationship where you're not afraid to kiss. But that first kiss. There's always going to be in the back of your mind, the last time I kissed somebody, I killed them. And you have to live with that. And you have to decide, will I ever kiss somebody again? And
episode 10.
That's episode 10. And it's just called The Kissing Booth. And it's a Netflix crossover. And I don't really know what it is yet, but I worry for her and her future relationships. Dano?
To just piggyback on that one, we'll do that one first. Can you imagine watching The Force Awakens, seeing our hero, a young female Jedi Force sensitive, person that has been like just going to take on the Republic. She's strong. She's independent. She speaks her mind. She fights. She kicks butt, takes names. Can you imagine after seeing that first movie, someone saying, here's the thing, Rey's going to fall in love with Kylo Ren and then she's going to take his last name. That's what she's going to do. Because that's what happens in this movie. She kisses a Skywalker one time and goes, I'm a Skywalker, mofo. That's who I am. I'm going to take the man's name. We created a female lead in a Star Wars movie only to make her Luke Skywalker by way of Adam Driver.
Adam Driver!
I just can't. Yes. I just can't. I can't. It bothered me to no end to watch it again and see it happen again. We got to get to he was on another transport. Gang, look, you can get away with a lot in these movies, and as evidenced by Rise of Skywalker, still making close to $1 billion. But I want to be very clear. Finn's character watches Chewbacca get on a ship and then fly in the air. He runs to Rey and goes, points at the ship and goes, they've got Chewbacca. Rey destroys the ship. And then 5 minutes later, you see Chewbacca, and then somebody goes, he was on another transport.
Close call.
It was close. It was close. You can't do that. Like you've got to, if that happened, you got to sit down with Finn and go, hey buddy, should we play a game of telephone so you understand how, like the boy who cried wolf, like to understand how important it is to tell the truth? Because what you're saying is Finn watched something and then just ran off and was like, I'm going to lie. It is. And why did they do it? That's my big question. Is this movie has plenty of, and I'm going to air quote it if you're not watching philo.tv/DTH. This movie has plenty of surprises in it. You don't need Chewbacca dying. You don't need it. It doesn't make any, like, why, what needle does that move to toy with someone's emotions that their beloved character from all 9 movies, nope, from 6 movies, it just 7 movies, just dies. It doesn't make any, why would you do it? There was no payoff. It doesn't advance the story. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't help anyone for us to do this bit, yet they do it anyway. BB-8's amazing.
We love him.
We love BB-8.
Maybe the best character in Star Wars history.
He's the best droid. Yeah. They introduce another droid here that looks like someone did unspeakable things to the Pixar lamp. And I can't, as big of a swing and a home run as BB-8 was, that is how big of a swing and a miss this droid is. Why did you try to make another BB-8? We don't need it. We don't need it. We can move along. It doesn't matter. There's a line in this movie, it's a bad place from an old war. You nailed it, guys. Really nice job. Kylo Ren's lightsaber is still falling to this day. He is in the middle of the ocean and throws his lightsaber over, and we never hear we don't hear a splash, a clang. We don't hear anything. He just throws it, and then it's still somewhere falling. Like, we'll get there, but it's just not there yet.
Rey's going to pick it up in episode 11.
Yeah, just 2 more. Yeah, in episode 11, she's going to be like, gotcha. Yeah. And then she's going to somehow bring him back to life. And so we can have some sort of patriarchal structure so she doesn't have to lead the way. It's a whole thing they're working on. 2 more. They do the one thing Abrams does in this movie is he gives you a lot of different creatures on screen. Like a lot of different creatures, the dancing, all these different people, like all these creatures are back. But there are these things, the planet that they're in at the end of this movie that they're riding on that are just horses with ponchos on them. Like, it is crazy to me that you went to all these lengths to make all these characters, and then this one group of characters, right? Like, you can see the horse's mouth. Like, it is so very clearly a horse that has like horns glued on it and a weird, like, kind of like lambskin saddle. But it's so clearly just a horse. And I don't know why that was the choice that was made there. It seemed like a weird one to make. And last but not least, Kylo Ren has been in capes and helmets and big, deep voices pretty much all movie. And he ends in a J. Crew catalog. He shows up to help Rey in a thermal sweater he picked up because he rolled out of bed and he was late for the big kiss. That's what happens in this movie. What an outfit choice. What a time to be alive, Rise of Skywalker. That's all I got.
It's time for Force for Fridays, and I guess we'll do our rankings.
The final rankings.
Final rankings. Yeah. Are you Force or Fridays?
I'll go Force.
Okay. Ended on a good note. Yeah.
But thank you. I intentionally.
Hold on, they're still cheering.
Yeah. All right, sit down back there.
Hold on.
Oh, okay. It's like Palpatine's audience.
Yes.
Yeah. I intentionally didn't look it up, and it's okay if neither of you did. We're probably already running long. I'd love to know, if it's not out there, what Rian Johnson's episode 9 looked like.
Oh, please don't say that out loud. That's not fair.
Because again, as we've established, I like Rian Johnson.
You love Rian. Knives Out 3, you're very pumped.
Can't wait for Knives Out 3.
You
but
like
genuinely,
him.
Yeah. I got, as we'll get to here in a second, I got Last Jedi in the middle of my pack, but Rian Johnson's Episode 9 would have been exponentially better than Disney's alternate version of Episode 9. So I would have loved to have seen what that would have looked like.
Rian Johnson's 9 would have slapped so hard. It would have been so good.
Well, you know what would have been really cool about it is that things they did in the last 2 movies would have been referenced.
Yeah, it would have made sense. You mean
that would have been a fun twist?
Cool.
All right, my final ranking here. Had a week to think on this. By a nose, I still have Attack of the Clones at 11.
Wow.
Just by a nose. Like the first hour of that movie's just terrible. And at least Rise of Skywalker.
Good answer.
At least Rise of Skywalker.
There's 45 minutes of Attack of the Clones that are better than anything in this movie.
Rise of Skywalker at 10. Just Babu Frick really just gives it the nose to 10. 9. New Hope. 8, Solo. 7, Rogue One. 6, middle of the pack, sort of Last Jedi.
Wow.
5, Return of the Jedi. 4, Phantom Menace. If you add up Pod Race and the Duel of the Fates, that's like an hour of the film, and that hour
Pod Race, I love that Pod Race is in the plus column for you. I think that's the difference between the two of us. But Last Jedi and Rogue One both below the 50% mark. Inexcusable. That's crazy.
Well, 4, Phantom Menace. 3, Revenge of the Sith. 2, I've gone back and forth. Last week I had Empire Strikes Back at number 1. This week I still do. 2, Force Awakens. 1, Empire Strikes Back.
Coward.
My final rankings. We'll be curious to see where Mission Impossible 7 nets out against these 11.
All 8 Mission Impossible movies better than Rise of Skywalker. All 10 Fast and Furious movies better than Rise of Skywalker.
Oh my
no
God.
question about it. It's not even particularly close.
Probably.
Yeah.
I would definitely say all 10 Fast and Furious is better than and Hobbs and Shaw.
There,
all 11.
no, the bottom end of, in my opinion, the bottom end of Fast and Furious is worse than the bottom end of, I don't know, Mission Impossible 2. I know what you're saying now. Mission Impossible 2 is a bad movie, but Limp Bizkit does the theme. It knows what it is. You know what I mean?
By the end of Mission Mondays, we'll do a top 33 or whatever that nets out.
We'll do a
with
whole
Fast
tier
and
ranking.
21,
Yeah.
29.
We'll do a whole tier ranking.
Top 29.
And I don't know who's wants that, but
We
we're going to
do.
do it.
We do.
We do.
Have you ever wondered how they all match up with each other? I know I have. Well, I don't think it's a surprise. I like Rise of Skywalker more than most here. And
It's not in your bottom 2?
No. So,
What movie is worse than this aside from Attack of the Clones?
So here we are. I'm going 11, Attack of the Clones, 10, Solo, 9, Nerds, A New Hope, 8, Rise of Skywalker, 7, The Phantom Menace, 6, Rogue One, 5, Return of the Jedi, 4, Last Jedi, 3, The Force Awakens, 2, Empire Strikes Back, and 1, Return of the Sith. And I don't want your emails.
And Return of the Sith is Revenge of the Sith, nerds. He got his number 1 movie wrong.
Yeah.
It's just, it's fine.
The Return of the Sith was this movie. The Sith is back, baby.
No, I
Dead Speed.
think all
Yeah.
opinions are valid unless you think Rise of Skywalker is better than A New Hope.
So, Dan, just to clarify, and listen, if Phantom Menace is the deal breaker, that's fine. But Brand's
Your
list
list is
now
better.
features...
Your list is better. Your list is
Okay.
better. No. As soon as I am one for hyperbole. What I feel about Rise of Skywalker, I stand by it. Like, there hasn't been a summer blockbuster worse than this in a decade, at least. Like, as soon as he didn't have it in his bottom 2, your list was better. Is period. Like,
What
end
about
of discussion.
Bubba Goes to the Pool?
Bubba Goes to the Pool is a bad movie.
You didn't like, you walked out.
I walked out. So I didn't finish it, so it's not on my list.
Okay.
Yeah. Can't be ranked.
11
That
Rise
movie
of
slaps.
I
You
would
missed
say
out.
11 Rise of Skywalker. You think it gets better?
Last 20 minutes is all
Last 20 minutes. So
Really
you
sings
got to
in those
get
last
through
20.
the rest of it for the last. I got you. Okay. All right. Maybe I'll give it another shot. Rise of Skywalker is at 16. At number 10, Attack of the Clones. 9, Solo. I think those 3 movies don't have the thing that every other Star Wars movie has. It has an it factor entertainment showdown that matters and you care. And those 3 movies don't have that. Attack of the Clones actually is the closest to having that. I think the Yoda scene is better than anything in those other 2 movies. So yeah, give me maybe Attack of the Clones is better than Solo. Now that I'm saying, I don't know. There's some really bad stuff in there. Let's keep it how it is. Rise of Skywalker, Attack of the Clones, Solo, 8, Phantom Menace, 7, A New Hope, 6, Return of the Jedi, 5, Force Awakens, 4, Revenge of the Sith, 3, Rogue One, 2, Last Jedi, 1, Empire Strikes Back. I would love for you guys to send me your list because I want to get an aggregate average score and see what happens there.
Okay.
I think your ranking gets Rise of Skywalker out of the bottom of it because you guys both have Attack of the Clones last. Both of you do.
Yeah.
And I have it 10, so that's going to be the worst one. And then Rise of Skywalker is going to be second worst.
Yeah.
You got A New Hope worse.
Yeah.
Sending you
Bored
my
out of my
list right
mind.
now.
Yeah.
Such a boring
I
movie.
feel, I'm looking at my list. I feel really good about it. I just really think, like, if you just isolate Pod Race and Duel of the Fates, Phantom Menace, what a film.
Oh, you said
Yes,
it.
It's an
already.
hour of cinema.
It is. Phantom Menace is way better than I remember it in the theater. And as soon as I saw it when we did this podcast, that movie, I used to be last for me. And it went from last, it went up 4 spots. And I got to be honest, if Bran would be willing to move Rise of Skywalker down, I would be willing to move it ahead of New Hope, even though I think that's kind of
That's
sacrilegious.
interesting.
I think that's kind of sacrilegious. But did I have more fun with Phantom Menace than A New Hope? Yeah, I'm giving New Hope the this started it all bump. But Phantom Menace is way more fun than I thought it was, and I have no problem admitting that. But it still has Jar Jar Binks in it.
There's big problems, but
Yeah.
you're admitting like the last 30 minutes of Phantom Menace is infinitely better than anything in New Hope.
The last 30 minutes of Phantom Menace is unimpeachable. The problem is that my top 6 movies, they have entertainment value to spare. So like Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Revenge of the Sith, Rogue One, Last Jedi, Empire Strikes Back, you're not going to be bored in any of those movies at any point. There are stretches early in Phantom Menace where Liam Neeson is boring us to sleep by not trying to, go on a vengeance tour. He's just talking trade. And then Bosnas and Jar Jar and all that it encompasses that. That really does hurt it. And so it is in that, it's duking it out with New Hope. It's duking it out.
It's a
And
duke.
Bran, where do you have Rise of Skywalker? 8th?
No,
7th?
7th.
Oh,
Ryan.
that's pretty wild.
That is
No, I
insane.
don't. 11.
You have it at
10,
8.
9, 8. 8.
Oh, my bad. There's 11. My bad. He has it 4th lowest.
Okay. All right.
Time out. You have 11. You have
I have Attack of the Clones at 11, Solo at 10, New Hope at 9,
and then that's
Rise
it.
of
Okay.
Skywalker.
Yeah, at 8.
Yeah.
That's right.
Okay. I mean, listen, I love Babu Frick, so,
We love the Frickster. It could have been Trace, but
could have been Trace.
perfect as is. All right, everybody, we've done it. Send emails if you want to. I don't care. And come on back on Monday.
Happy Memorial
grill
Day.
your burgers, snag a dog. I got to be honest. I can't think of a better way to spend Memorial Day than by watching Mission Impossible.
I mean,
can't
that's a
think
good
of it.
time.
That's a great Memorial Day.
That's a
It's a
good
good
time.
Memorial Day movie.
Watch
Yeah.
the movie, listen to the pod, enjoy it. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. Until next time, I'm the first to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Deck the Hallmarks of Bramble Jam podcast is produced by Aaron Shea. For more information on Deck the Hallmark, you can go to deckthehallmark.com. For more information on the Deck the Hallmark family, you can go to bramblejamplus.com. Deck the Hallmark is presented by Philo TV. For a free trial of Philo, go to philo.tv/DTH.